Okay, Rick.
You're live.
Okay, good evening. This is welcome to the Ashland Parks and Recreation special meeting of March 2nd, 2022. Started a few minutes late due to technical difficulties, but here we go. If you would give me a hand, Director Black, I think I don't have the agenda up in front of me for a couple minutes.
Yeah. So let me
So
just.
our first slide.
First item is the consideration of the Parks Commission applications and recommendation to the City Council.
Yeah, right. But before that, I want to verify that we have no one for a public forum. I believe there's no one, so we will move on from that, unless I'm mistaken.
Sean, can you confirm that?
That is confirmed. No speakers.
Okay. So, in terms of, we were tasked about last month by the City Council to provide three ranked recommendations for a replacement Parks Commissioner for the position that had previously been held by Mike Gardner. We went, but I can't see a screen, so I'm hoping, Sean, that you have up on the screen the that first summary of results. And anyway, we went through a screening process that included a written application. The questions on the written application were basically consistent with the voters pamphlet information that all candidates who run for office fill out. In addition to that, we did interviews with all candidates. We then used a score sheet, which I think, again, Sean, you ought to be able to bring up the show.
It's being shown.
Thank you. And we then, after interviews, we individually ranked all 9 candidates. And when we did that, it became very, we had a clear number 1 candidate, and that was Jim Bachman. We had a clear number 2 candidate, and that was Carrie Karen. And we had a 3/4 of the commissioners had 1 candidate, Eric Hansen, and that was our 3rd candidate. And incidentally, I'm the one who didn't have Eric as 3rd, but I did have him as 4th. So very consistent, even though this was done independently. So that's what we have. We've almost fulfilled our the requests that the City Council had for us, and now what we need to do is formalize that. So before we do that, I want to open things up to discussion from other commissions.
Jim's got his hand up.
I can't see, so
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I think on my ratings, Jim Bachman was head and shoulders above the other candidates, and his time on the budget committee, his interest in being a parks commissioner, and he actually ran for the position. And then if any of you remember that he showed up for considerable amount of meetings and was usually the only one in the audience and watched our meetings, and it shows he's put in his due diligence to actually become a commissioner. And so I would hope we would strongly advocate for our first selection and send that to the council as a strong recommendation that Jim Bachman should be appointed for this 10-month interim term. He is managing the garden down on at Ashland Creek Park. He's on the senior advisory. He would be a very easy fit immediately upon his first meeting. So that's what I would hope we would recommend, is that the first choice.
Okay, Commissioner Lott, can you hear us?
I'm on Zoom again. I mean,
Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you hear me?
I could hear you loud and clear. And I just want to verify that Leslie Eldridge is still with us.
Hi, how's the audio?
Great.
Great. Leslie, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, since the audio is okay, I was a little scared to talk, but I would just echo Commissioner Lewis's comments. It was very clear that Jim Bachman has deeply studied and thought about the issues that APRC is facing, is very familiar with them. His breadth and experience in Ashland city government and in the budget committee was very impressive. He just seems very well suited for the position, and you know, really hope that he's able to join us and contribute to the commission. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I just have a process question is when we actually vote on this and send this to the council, will there be a cover letter or some report on that to go along with it, or? I mean,
If we're about ready for a motion, Sean, if you could pull up that screen, please. No, I'll answer your question, Commissioner Lewis.
Okay, 1 second, please.
And what we're going to pull up is a possible motion and then a cover letter. So you may not be able to see this, Leslie. So, and for everyone, I'm going to read what a possible motion would be. APRC commissioners unanimously recommend Jim Bachman to fill the open commissioner seat. Per the request of City Council, the 3 top candidates in a ranked order are number 1, Jim Bachman, number 2, Carrie Kincairn, and number 3, Eric Hansen. And then the proposed cover letter would be as follows. Dear councilors and mayor, 9 candidates for the open APRC commissioner position were evaluated, and then in parentheses, the blank evaluation worksheet attached. The written portion of the evaluation was based on questions asked of all candidates in the voters pamphlet. Each applicant was interviewed twice as all the commissioners participated. The interview questions related to the candidate's knowledge of APRC. All candidates were enthusiastic and intelligent. Mr. Bachman stood out due to his city/APRC related experience, understanding of budget considerations, and his considerable knowledge of how APRC works and interfaces with the city. Therefore, Mr. Bachman is APRC Commissioner's unanimous recommendation for this open APRC commissioner seat. Per your request, the 3 highest ranked candidates were Jim Bachman, number 1, Carrie Kincairn, number 2, and Eric Hansen, number 3. So that's what I'm proposing that we, if this motion passes, that would be the cover letter that I would propose that we send with it.
and if I could make a motion.
Yes, please.
APRC commissioners unanimously recommend Jim Bachman to fill the open commissioner seat per the request of City Council. The top 3 candidates in ranked order are number 1, Jim Bachman, number 2, Carrie Kincairn, and number 3, Eric Hansen.
Is there a second?
I second. I second this, Leslie.
Okay. Commissioner Eldridge is seconded. Is anyone any more discussion on this? Yes.
I think that's a fine cover. I think that's a fine cover letter, and it hopefully will find reason on the council, and I would hope that the people who don't get selected, we would send them some email or some information that we respect their interest in commissions in the city, and we would hope they would sign up for one of the many vacancies in the commissions in town, is what I would hope.
Okay, no further, unless there's further discussion, Commissioner Eldridge, do you have anything else you want to say? We're gonna,
No, I'm good. Thank you.
okay, okay. In that case, let's have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Lewis,
Yes.
Commissioner Eldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is.
Well, we need to, I'm sorry, Commissioner Lott, we need to make sure we still have a quorum. If Commissioner Eldridge needs to go, I believe that would be the end of the meeting. Not to make you feel guilty or anything, Commissioner Eldridge, but we'll just move that second item to the next week's meeting.
Yeah, I apologize. I just am worried about getting over the Cascades with the storm coming in, and I'd really, I don't want to be in a hazardous situation.
Did you catch that, Commissioner Lott?
I did. Well, in that case, I'm glad that that we set the date back for when we had to have this, when we waived our date for getting the contracts in. I'm glad we gave ourselves a little more leeway than just this meeting. So we'll have to put it off to the next meeting. And I believe for lack of a quorum, we are going to have to end this meeting. And my apologies to Marcus Scott, who was here to speak, but hopefully we can hear from him next week.
Marcus Scott and I have been texting, so he knows that this could be delayed until next week. So.
Okay, well, I'm apologize also to the restaurateurs and vendors for this delay, and this will be less likely to happen once we get our open commissioner seat filled. So we have accomplished that. So onward. And with that, I'm adjourning the meeting. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night. Thank you.
Drive careful.